Welcome back, you beautiful brave hearts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all around the world. And because you know what, it's so exciting because our reach is all around the world. And I want everybody to know something. That's one big hug for everybody around the world, coming from us to you. And we truly mean that. Okay, we're all created by the same source energy. And I understand that, and I hope you understand that at the end of the day, we may have different belief systems, okay? But we need to come together as energy systems. One big energy system, right? Now, today I'm with Lorraine. Lorraine hosts the show, the Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention for Women. And today I'm on the show, and yes, I know I'm not a woman, but you know what? I'm going to put my 2 cents in and what I think about this whole pelvic restoration thing. And before we start, I just want to tell you something. There is no other place for a woman that is undermined more, okay? How many people here know? I can remember when I was 8 years old, and there was actually women that they would say hysteria, okay? And understand, I remember this. I lived on Lauren Crescent, okay, with my family. And I remember that there were adults talking about how this woman had hysteria. And instead of putting her on medication, okay, what they actually did is they did pelvic clearance on her. The same thing that they would do to a female dog, pelvic clearance. And guess what? Oh, she's so much better now. Oh, yeah, I guess she is. You totally took away her thunder. You took away her feminine power. And understand something. You know, they could get away with it back then. Okay, and then they stopped doing it. So now, guess what? Back then, they weren't causing women's uteruses or their fallopian tubes or their bladder or their ovaries to rot out. But now, they've got it all down pat, don't they? Because guess what? Women are rotting out as we speak. And you might think, oh, he's not very nice. He's so nasty. Well, then why do you think women are losing babies? They can't hold their babies anymore because it's just like a car that rusts out. Well, we rot out. And understand, why do 50% of the female population get cesareans? Because they're jammed up and jelly tight. And guess what? And we're talking about stagnation, which is causing infection, which creates inflammation, scar tissue formation, calcification. And guess what? You're so stiff you can't move, and you can't even open your legs wide enough because of the inflammation created dehydration. And guess what? And because your hormones are out of whack, and they're out of whack for only one reason, and that's because your pH is out of balance. And that's it. You can go ahead and go on bioidentical hormones, do whatever you want. But the reality is, as soon as you get your nutrition together and you balance your nutrition and you actually get some nutrition, you'll balance your hormones. And we've seen it with tens of thousands of women, okay, just putting them even on humic or black diamond, and then putting them on the Ormus minerals with the Perfect Day multi. They never touched a hormone, and it doesn't matter. You can have hormonal changes or differences from A to Z, but your body knows better. What do you think, Lorraine?
Exactly. Our body, it was created by Almighty, whatever you want to call that, and it was created perfectly. It innately knows how to heal. The problem is we're living in a very toxic world, and people don't understand how toxic all that processed packaged crap that they sell in the grocery stores and call it food. It's not food. It actually, the body has to really work hard in order to get anything out of that stuff. And the most of what's coming from that is chemicals. So it's not serving the body at all, and it's certainly not raising your vibration.
GMOs, chemicals, heavy metals, and they're going to get away with it forever because the government is not in control. There's a government that controls the government. And then the psychos are controlled by this evil entity, and I won't get into it because already people think I'm a whack job, but that's okay. The reality is it's never going to change, so you have to change. Did you hear what I said? It's never going to change, but you have to change. Oh, but here's a problem, okay? Being a woman, your whole family now is addicted to poisons, so if you try to change their diet, there's a riot in the house. What do you think, Lorraine?
It's the truth. It's the truth. You got to lead by example, and you've got to hold the line for yourself first. It just does not work trying to make people do things that they're just not ready to do.
Yeah, but Lorraine, can I ask you a question? How are you going to do that, Lorraine? Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Okay, and I just did a posting on Facebook yesterday, 75 different names for sugar. So unless you're going to download the actual Yuka app, YUKA, and you're gonna scan everything, you never know what's in there. So that's the reality. Welcome to a fun-filled, life-threatening adventure, Lorraine.
Yeah, well, I know when my kids were little, I truly believed everything in the grocery store had been stamped okay for us to consume. Like, that was my belief. And I've come to know...
That's, 1 second, Lorraine, that's 95% of all women or 99% of all women still today. And you know that.
I know that. Yes,
yeah.
I do. And that's why we're in the boat that we're in right now. Because we're bringing in, not only are we living in a world that's so toxic, from the air, from the water, from the soil, everything, but we're also introducing all these other chemicals. I remember doing research, and Coca-Cola was the first company to come up with what they called the bliss point, and that was heightening all 5 senses chemically with, beyond natural. So we get hooked on these things. And now everything that's processed packaged has to hit that bliss point.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Do you remember when I was going through the airport and I was in a hurry and I stopped off and it said, refresh and fly Coca-Cola. Yeah. Guys, I'll tell you something. Lori, my partner, said, Daryl, we're going to be late for the plane. I said, I can't miss this. Refresh and fly. And I went and I did this 1 a day, okay, on Coke. Does anybody realize that actual 1 a day got 2 million views? Now, I wasn't looking for 2 million views. I wasn't looking for anything. All I wanted to tell people is that Coke is one of the most evil drinks you can take into your body. It eats your body away. It kills you. I'm in Mexico here, and I love the Spanish people here in Mexico. But when they've got a 2-liter or 3-liter bottle of Coke, it's usually a guy holding it, and he's carrying it like a trophy. And guess what? This is the chemicals in it and the sugar in it are so powerful that he's already getting high with the thought of drinking it and getting everybody else high. And guess what? They got us. Believe it or not, sugar causes a dopamine dump, which everybody could do themselves if they put a slight smile on it, if they practice gratefulness, if they actually practice, connecting to the lion heart breath and practicing gratefulness. Okay? All right. Hi, was this recommended, this live? What is the topic? The topic is women's pelvic restoration and disease prevention, Joel. So hang in there if you'd like, okay? But we're just talking right now about how we can't prevent anything unless we're going to get people to understand. How many people know this? And I'm going to love this one. People are going to come on here and they're going to beat me up. Okay, right now, in the United States, we give $10 billion a year to pop companies, okay? And guess what? Coke gets the biggest share of it. And the reason why is I actually know the gentleman that actually, when it came to government, he actually went into government, Lorraine, and he convinced them that even if you're poor, okay? Now, guys, I'm not picking on anybody, but even if you're poor, why should only the rich be able to afford Coke? So you need to understand this, but it's not hard to convince them because, for everybody in government, there's 2 lobbyists, okay, for every 1 person in government. And that'll always be allowed to go on because it's the psycho elite in the world. I don't mean to call them elite, but the reality is that's always going to go on. It's always going to be corrupt. The government's not broken. Okay. Okay, the government is not broken. It's actually working for what it should do, and it's not ever for the people. But anyways, we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about how hard it is for a mother, for a woman, to actually reclaim her own health. And you know why? It's all set up. Lorraine, did you ever, okay, Lorraine, you may say, no, not my husband, but did your husband hold the purse strings 30 years ago? My father used to count every penny that my mother used to spend with the groceries. Okay? And understand something. If he wanted something, he was going to get it. Men were put way up here. Women were put down here. And guess what? And you know what? Okay, what did you spend it on? What did you do? What did you do? You know, so women come from a caring point of view where men have to learn how to care.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yes, to an extent, it was exactly the same. I mean, I worked full-time the whole time my kids, well, unless they were babies and I was nursing them, but other than that, I worked full-time. And I spent my money on the groceries and paid bills and, you know, everything that I could. And yes, the groceries was a big bill. And yes, he would always question, what did you buy? How come you bought so much? Why did you spend so much? It's like, well, no, just is, right?
But let's not forget, everyone, the best food is not wrapped. It doesn't come in a can. It doesn't come in a bag. It doesn't come in a box. It doesn't come in any of that. Okay, it's already wrapped by nature. Okay?
Exactly. We need to get that high vibrational, raw and fresh into the body in order to be able to raise our body's vibration. Because when our body is vibrating at a higher place, we don't attract all these lower vibration things like colds and flus and
parasites, bad bacteria, fungus. See, the yeast turns into fungus. The parasites, you didn't even eat them. You ate such low vibrational foods, you created an environment that needed the parasites to come in. Okay? And you actually grew them, you hatched them, you created them. I mean, you didn't even eat the egg of the parasite. You actually created the invisible into the physical because you had an environment that was so low vibrational, it called on the parasites. It called on the fungus. It called on the bad bacteria. Remember, environment is everything. The bug is nothing. Okay?
And we all have those bugs. And we need them to a certain extent, right? We all should have a small amount of them.
Well, yeah, because guess what? Those bugs actually will engulf corrupt tissue. They will engulf heavy metals. They'll actually eat them, right? Actually, no, I made that up. They won't. They won't do heavy metals. They won't do man-made chemicals. Okay, so no, that's why you have a flu. The flu is actually almost 300 different soaps or chemicals, if you want to call them that, made by the body. And they look after the heavy metals. They look after the chemicals. And that's why people have drippy noses, because they bring the heavy metals and the chemicals into the body. So you got to drip them out, because your bad bacteria and your fungus and your worms won't touch them. Yeah, so now who's the intelligent person? Okay, did you know that, Lorraine? Worms, bad bacteria, and fungus will not touch heavy metals or man-made chemicals. And that is why the more you take into those things, the sicker you will become. So they're more intelligent than us. And somebody just said too, let's start calling the psycho elite to the psycho delete. I'm with you all the way. I will practice that. Okay.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Yeah. I had a thought and it went.
I don't know, but Joel says, I've become very cynical over the years. I don't trust information or free things. Okay, all right. I get it. Well, you know what? Why don't you ask yourself if something's logical or not? That's what I always do. Put your hand on your heart and ask yourself if it's logical, Joel. Okay? All right, Lorraine, what are we going to talk about today? This is the pelvic course.
It is.
Okay?
It is.
All right.
So we're going to go through a list of conditions and then we're going to talk about them.
Okay.
So the first one up here I've got is one that I had never heard before, and it's called Asherman syndrome. And what it is an accumulation of scar tissue in the uterus. And I don't know, I'm sure Asherman, it was Dr. Asherman who discovered this and stamped his name on it, because that's usually what they do.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And an accumulation of scar tissue, well, we know that scar tissue can be from a physical scar, so maybe you had surgery, or it can be because of your thoughts, right? Your thoughts create an emotion, which creates, your thoughts create that trauma, which creates the emotion, which creates issues in our tissues. And that is the crystallization, the calcification that becomes scar tissue.
Okay, so you said that the uterus became thicker with scar tissue, right?
That's what it said, yeah.
Okay, so, did you ever hear that saying, I've had to become thick-skinned because I feel emotionally abused by this world? Well, understand the uterus only has to become thick-skinned because of infection that creates inflammation. So the inflammation can cause mutation, because in the word inflammation, it's inflame. And the flame can actually eat up oxygen. And we know that mutation cannot be created unless you lose 35% of the oxygen within the cell. That creates cancer. So if you have a deficit of 35% or more of oxygen for more than 3 days, that can create cancer. Now, understand something. Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize for discovering the cause of cancer, so end of story. So you can't tell me BS, Dr. Wolf. You can't tell me I don't know what I'm saying, because he's the only person that ever got it. Now, meanwhile, did your doctor ever tell you when you went there that guess what? You better watch out for that bowel that's that pooping in your pelvis, because you've got a screen door for a bowel and the infections get into your pelvis. How many people know the only way that you can have an infected pelvis is because the large intestine is leaking waste? That's the only way. I know hardly any natural health practitioner talks about this. Medical doctors don't talk about this at all. So if we were to look after the large intestine, we'd get rid of 95% of all female problems. That's it. So everybody better get this. But guess what? This is why we have to teach about vaginal infusion. Because guess what? We've got to go in and we got to reduce the inflammation, the scar tissue formation, the calcification, and we got to bring up the vibration so the worms and the bad bacteria and the fungus aren't having a field day. Because when you've got worms, you've got bad bacteria and you've got fungus. When you've got fungus, you've got bad bacteria and worms. When you've got bad bacteria, you've got fungus and you've got worms. So they all come for the parasite party, and the large intestine is the holy grail. And this is why we tell people, if you do the daily cleansing tea in black gold, Lorraine, how much will they reduce that problem?
A ton. I mean, the daily cleansing tea cleans out all of your inner organs, and it's quite nice. You make 4 quarts or maybe just 2 quarts. If you're making 4 quarts, it's 2 bags. If you're making 2 quarts, it's just 1 bag. Don't put a whole bag and make 1 cup of tea. I've had a few people calling me and say, hey, I can't do this. Don't want to do that. And it tastes great. You take it twice a day and it cleans all of your inner organs, and it's nice, gentle, and it makes it so that the large intestine starts to move better. Of course, you need to make sure you're drinking adequate water. So the structured water really is the best. And depending on your weight, would depend on how much water you need to be drinking. The average woman, if you're not overweight, 3 quarts. A man, 4 quarts or more, depending on the weight and the size. And of course, warm structured water, because that's going to be able to get rid of the mucus. The mucus is a buildup inside the tubes in the body. So when we can get some of that mucus down, it can actually start functioning better.
People are asking, if you go to Doc of Detox Library, you can go into the Daily Cleansing Tea Guide. It's called Daily Cleansing Tea. I hope everybody gets this, okay? Guess what? When everybody talks about the large intestine, they think X-Lax. They think laxatives. They think senna to clean out their bowel. Big problem. Cascara sagrada. Big problem. That's the laxative of actual cleaning out your bowel, which it's too hard on your bowel. We have 5 ingredients in our tea. None of them are stimulants. None of them are laxatives. And people will take our tea morning and night. It tastes like iced tea. It's delicious. You can put like a little bit of honey in it. You can mix it with juice. It doesn't matter. You can't hurt it. And all it does is it supports and detoxifies the 5 main detoxification organs of your body. So you've got, it'll help to detoxify the colon, the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and the blood, and the lymph system. Okay, so understand, those are the organs. And then, of course, the blood gets cleaned because if you support the rest of these organs, it takes the pressure off the bloodstream. So that's why it's kind of the 6th thing. Now, you can take this tea morning and night for the rest of your life. And if you take black gold with it, 1 teaspoon twice a day in a blender drink, that's the best way to do it. Like, with berries or almond milk. Call me because my number is 469-861-8884. And you're going to tell me within 10 days to probably 15 days, I've never felt better. You will lose weight. You'll have more energy. You got to understand something. People are rotting out. You want to know something? Okay. The biggest problem that we have today is diabetes. And the biggest problem is we're eating products that are product-like foods, but they're not foods at all. Whether you want to believe this or not, 80% of the products we eat aren't real food. And guess who's doing it? Are you ready? 99% of the population is eating garbage. So they feel like garbage, and their large intestine becomes garbage. It's supposed to be a compost that's supposed to build your good bacteria and not actually create a cesspool of a parasite party. And that's what it's doing. And then because of antibiotics, and I do want to talk about that. Okay, this lady who has just called 3 times, I'm going to be doing a live on her tomorrow. I don't know why she's calling like this. She won't stop. Okay, I guess just don't give up. And anyways, she took Cipro, okay, which was for a bladder infection. And she actually has the bladder infection because her bowel's rotting out. If everybody just knew that their bladder sits right in front of the last 3 to 4 inches of your bowel. And guess what? Oh my God. Okay, I don't know why people will go, guess what? I went to the doctor and he said, guess what? I've got an E. coli infection and I've got cystitis. I've got a bladder infection. Well, the E. coli is 95 to 98% of all bladder infections, and you can only get it from the large intestine. So there's a big clue here, everybody. So the reality is you've absorbed that, and now it goes through your kidneys, okay? But it's also sitting right in the last 3. Gosh, Gloria, give it up. Anyway, so it sits in the last 3 inches of your large intestine. And guess what? Where do you think, oh, I just have a little bit more and it just won't come out. And guess what? It's sticky and glicky because of the sticky and glicky food you eat. It's dehydrated because you absorbed all the water out of your stool because you don't drink enough. So now you took all that dirty water and that's in your body. But now your stool couldn't make it to the end and slide out. It's jammed up and jelly tight, mama. And guess what? At the end is where you're going to absorb most of that waste. That's why prostate cancer has gone up. Prostate cancer this year has gone up 80%. It's supposed to go up 400% before the end of 2030. 400% increase. I have never had anybody. How many times that? 4. She's not going to give up, is she? But you know what? She's probably going to get what she wants. And that is a consultation live with me. Okay? So it's all solved by tea. Joel, did I say it was all solved by tea? Joel, I told you that, guess what? Joel, what do you want? What are you doing on here? You're not a woman, but I'll answer your question. But then neither am I. What am I doing on here? So Joel, I'll tell you this much. Joel, what if you had the perfect day? What if you knew how to create the perfect day from the moment you rise until you close your eyes? Joel, what about this? 99 out of 100 people, okay? 99 out of 100 people, are you ready for this? They wait until they feel like crap, and then they do a detox, and they say, I'm into natural health. You know what? Every 4 months to every 6 months, I do a deep cleanse. Oh yeah, when do you do that? Oh, when I feel like crap. Well, I never feel like crap. If you were to take our tea, which is going to be like you make 1 gallon from 1 tea bag. So you don't use 1 tea bag per cup. 1 tea bag makes 1 gallon. You need about 4 to 8 ounces twice a day, depending how good you are or bad you are, for goodness sakes. Okay, don't let Santa know. All right, so 1 tea bag will make 1 gallon. Okay, so you got to do it right. So read the instructions. And then you're going to take 4 to 8 ounces, depending how good you are. Yeah, isn't that the truth? How much water you drink. Is it structured water? Is it warm to hot? Because all of this makes a difference, right? Okay? Yeah, I know, Joe. I was just kidding about the man thing, dude. It's okay, all right? I'm on here too. Me and you, buddy. Okay? So anyways, you're going to take enough of this tea that you're going to have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. How many people know this? Okay? You can believe it or not. You see this? Okay? Here is the first thing I did today. The rest of the day, okay, all I did was I did about a quart of carrot juice, beet juice. I did 3 quarts of just Black Diamond and Ormus Minerals. Okay, I did do my Marigin in the morning. It's what I do, right? But I only eat 1 meal a day. We're going to go to Ilmar after this because we decided we'd go out to eat, and we're going to go have a really great soup that they make, a lentil soup. And I'm going to have a baked potato, and I'm going to have a salad. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. And that'll be my meal. And understand, I have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. Now you're going to go, well, that doesn't make any sense. How would you have 2 or 3 bowel movements a day? You just ate 1 meal and you had a blender drink, but you didn't do a lot else. Well, because by the time my day's over, I've taken in 4 quarts of liquid. By the time my day's over, everything is made out of plant fiber. I'm looking for amino acids, not animal protein, okay? All right? I'm not saying I'll never do it, but the reality is this. My stools are big and fluffy puffy. They float. They don't have cracks in them. If you take your second finger and go like this, that's how big your stool should be coming out of your body, right? Second finger to thumb. And it should slide out, and you shouldn't have to use a whole roll of toilet paper or grunt and groan and go, honey, I'll be there. Because that's where the actual hiatal hernia comes from. It's not from moving the couch for the wife. So quit blaming her again. You got it because you pushed your diaphragm down so hard that you popped your stomach up above it. And now you're spewing acid into your esophagus. Okay. And also you're just not chewing your food. There's a lot of other reasons too, but that's the main reason, is from pushing your diaphragm down, trying to get out that last little turd that's stuck. It's probably a big rock. And it's really hard. And it's stuck in the last 3 inches of your bowel because you didn't drink enough. You didn't eat enough live food. You ate sticky, glicky, box, canned, bagged food, new breakthrough improvement, whatever that's called. Okay? And then we don't exercise a heck of a lot either. So when you put that all together, okay, what you got is we got trouble in River City. And that means your large intestine. And if your large intestine had perfect health, then guess what? 95 to 98% of all illness would be gone. And we wouldn't even have a pelvic course if it wasn't for a woman's colon rotting out. You wouldn't have the prostate problems, the bladder problems, the ovarian cysts, the endometriosis, the infertility. Oh, I could keep going on and on. You know what? We don't even know how to take responsibility because they went and messed us up. It's not your fault, okay? Have you ever read on leaky gut syndrome? Oh, first of all, there's no such thing as leaky gut. It's leaky large intestine. How's that? Just so everybody knows here, and I don't mind being challenged, so if you want to come on and challenge me, come on my show, whether you're a patient or whether you're a practitioner, come and do it. When I was, just so you know this, when I was 25 years old, I opened up the North American Institute for the Advancement of Colon Therapy. Okay, so somebody asked me, is a colonic good? Well, guess what? If you can't get the cork out of the wine bottle, okay, then you can use that. But if you want to use a colonic and do like a 30-foot bowel movement, and you want to do a 30-foot bowel movement every 2 weeks, you're going to get lazy. What if you, okay, this, I'm going to have to, maybe in a minute, I'm going to have to get a phone because this is what's going on. Okay, this is what's happening to people. They're losing it. They're losing it. Okay? This is how desperate we are. This woman isn't angry at me. This woman says, without him, I'm nothing. And I hope she watches this, because you can't get desperate. When you're desperate, you do things that aren't great. She's stressing herself right out. And God love her. But you know what? I might have to get up. If she does it again, I got to go get another phone and call her and tell her just to breathe. Now, so let me just say this. Is leaky large intestine a real thing? Dr. Pagano spoke about it as a cause of psoriasis. Okay, first of all. Okay. Lorraine, do you want to say anything before I answer that question?
It is leaky large intestine. And that is the root cause of all of our problems that we have in the body. It just depends on how much manure pile we have there and how much damage it's starting to do. Because even the fumes coming off that, I mean, fumes rise. This is a nice warm, wet place. We're going to get bad bacteria, fungus, and parasites growing in that. Just like on the farm, if you went to the pile of cow manure and you put a fork in there and you turned it over, you're going to see it steaming. So that affects absolutely everything. Our gums, our sinuses, our eyes, our brain, it goes up. So we've got to be able to figure out, number one, how do we stop this? How do we stop the leaking? How do we get rid of that manure pile? And how do we bring this beautiful body back into a healthy state? And it is baby steps in the right direction. Yes, you want to do the daily cleansing tea. Yes, you want to be on the black diamond and the black gold. The black gold is going to support the digestive tract. It only works in the digestive tract. It doesn't enter into the rest of the body. It takes about 2 days to transition out. And like Daryl had said, you want to take anywhere from 1 teaspoon up to even a tablespoon a day of the black gold. And it doesn't mix very well in water. It kind of sinks. Some people don't mind that. So you can put it in your soup, in your stew, in your
smoothie.
In your smoothie is the way I like it, because I'm not chewing my smoothie. I'm drinking it. I don't want to chew on sandy stuff. But while it's in your digestive tract, from here to there, it is getting rid of viruses, getting rid of bacteria, it's getting rid of fungus, it's helping get rid of the parasites, it's feeding the good bacteria, so they start to flourish. When they flourish, the bad start to fall away. And hopefully, you're learning how to chew properly, your food combining properly, you're eating more raw and fresh. And it's going to balance your hormones, balance your metabolism, balance your weight.
You know, it's all BS. It's just all BS. All your diseases are BS. Because the reality is, you've got love messages from the body saying, why can't you love me? Why can't you care for me? Okay? Then you've got what we call symptoms, negative symptoms, which are just, guess what? That could be a nagging partner. That your physical body is your partner. That is a community of organs, a community of cells, a community of bacteria, all come together to give you this physical adventure. And then you get these loving taps on your shoulders first. Then you don't listen. Then they get more stronger and they get more stronger. So guess what? From a little symptom to guess what? To an illness, to a disease, to guess what? To an autoimmune disease, because guess what? Autoimmune disease means the body's attacking itself, but that's not true. You were attacking yourself on a subconscious level way before the body was attacking itself. So you attacked you first on an emotional level because you were programmed to attack you. You look at how we are. Come on, seriously, honey, if you're good, mommy will poison you with a treat. Okay? Hey, this weekend we're going to go out and we are going to party down, baby. We're going to poison the sugar right out of ourselves. Okay? We are going to really go in there hardcore. Why do you think we've got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and New Year's, and then everybody's going to run around with a mask and COVID again? Okay, here, let me get back to this. So, let's understand this. Everybody's got leaky gut because of antibiotics. Not just that you took from the doctor, but it's in every animal product that isn't free range and organic. So when you eat a product, whether it's a byproduct of an animal or an animal, you are getting antibiotics. And guess what? Not small dosage. I hope you know that 80% of all antibiotics are put into animals in North America. 80% of all antibiotics are put into animals if they're not free range and organic. So you're getting it every day. And understand this, antibiotics, they dement and mutate your bacteria and corrupt them. And your bacteria talk 9 times to your brain, where your brain only talks 1 time to your body compared to the 9 times. Did you get that? Your bacteria are called your second brain. And they actually are your only brain, because your brain is not a brain. Your brain is a computer. And the only thing your brain does is run computer programs. And most of them are corrupt because we have been programmed by people that are, how about this, love? The cycle delete. And the reality is we've been programmed by them. So we're poisoning ourselves with their programs. Most people will never ever find their authentic self or be able to bring their vibration up enough to say no. You know why? Because we're compromised by love. We can't live without love. And we keep on trying to get it from our families, our friends, our partners. I don't know why, but I keep having the same relationship. Yeah, I know. Well, because you didn't change the program you're running. Okay? The brain is not a brain. It's only a computer. So put a new program in there where you're loving and caring for yourself from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, and you don't care what people think. You're going to love and care for yourself throughout the day and make only healthy choices. And you will say no to everyone that has low vibrational options for you, which is all day long, until they no longer ask you, because you've learned how to stand up for yourself. And don't expect anybody else to change, because we already talked about it. It's called addiction. Okay, the biggest addiction we have is to what the food corporations are making for us. And they are owned by the tobacco industry, which is owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. Tell me I'm wrong. Before you say anything else, do your homework and understand something. All right? We are, becoming the extinct species. There's nothing going on with the planet. The planet's not dying. Okay? We are becoming the extinct species because we couldn't say no and we couldn't say yes to ourselves. And understand this, everybody, and you need to get this, whether you're a woman, man, or child. If you knew what a perfect day was on an emotional, mental, and physical level, and you just lovingly made these steps long enough and strong enough that on a subconscious level, you would never make those other choices. The only reason why you're poisoning yourself and your family is because everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. All right? Picking the garbage and chewing it. And that's what they're doing. And they're going to continually do it. Come on, take a look. I mean, you ever seen so much obesity and overweight people, or people that can't gain weight and they're so skinny? Well, this is all poisoning, self-poisoning. There is no autoimmune diseases, okay? There is just messages from the body, and then became symptoms, then became an illness, then became an autoimmune disease. And guess what? The whole thing was a setup for Big Pharma, and the Big Pharma owns all the food corporations now. Okay, so they make you sick, and then you get pain, and then you want to numb out, so then you go to them for more drugs, and it was the drugs that were in the foods that made you sick in the first place. Listen, I'm with you. My heart's with you. I get it. I'd be dead if I wasn't in the health business. I would be dead already. Okay, I already know it. Okay, thank God I'm in this. So, you know what? You can call it obsessive, but I'm not obsessive. I'm just living the life that God intended. Yeah. Oh, what a health nut. Oh, really? No, this is the life that God intended. Okay? If it was wrapped in nature, it would never turn on you. If it was wrapped by man, okay, it's going to turn you inside out and upside down. And you better get that right now. Go take a look in your cupboards in your fridge and tell me you got this. Go in there and download the Yuka app, YUKA, and start scanning all the stuff in your fridge and in your cupboards. And if it's below 90%, it's causing cancer. So guess what? There goes 80 to 90% of your cupboards and your food in your fridge. And we really haven't even talked about the women yet, have we?
Oh, we've touched on it a couple of times. And this includes everybody. The men, the women, everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're all in this boat together, and we've been so ruled, schooled, and fooled, and we've been taught how to numb the body out. You know, I get a headache, I take an Advil, or I have an ache or pain, and maybe it's Tylenol, I don't know, and I numb it out. But that's not getting to the root of the problem. It's not. Little aches are telling us that there is something wrong there. I know when I was 36, I was diagnosed with cancer. And coming up to that time, I had a lot of little things happening, which I went to the doctor, got a prescription, and I numbed it out. And then I got this diagnosis of cancer, and like, oh my gosh, I was healthy until the moment they told me I wasn't, which was a false idea, because I wasn't healthy.
Let me tell you something, everyone. You take this to heart. Take it to heart that you're not hurt. Take it to heart that you feel for yourself. And you actually feel for people, but you don't suffer for them. There's a difference. Almost everybody in your family, okay, has a functional illness. When I was a boy, a young boy, if somebody had cancer, it was shocking. I wasn't even sure, and neither was my parents, if we could catch it. That's how much we knew. I mean, you think I was alive for a million years. You know, this is 60 years ago. And we didn't even know better. That's how dumbed down my parents were. They didn't even know if you could catch cancer from someone. And then when someone had diabetes, okay, that was juvenile diabetes. And they got that probably from doing cow's milk. And you don't even know it. And it was organic. People just don't even know this stuff. And the reality is, back then, there was nobody back then that had adult onset diabetes. Now, guess what? Are you ready for this? Over 85% of Americans are pre-diabetic. All right? 50% of teenagers are pre-diabetic. 30% of children are pre-diabetic. And understand something. ADHD is a sugar addict. Okay? Glaucoma is sugar of the eyes. Okay? Dementia is sugar of the brain. Okay? All right? So cancer is sugar of the blood. There's just too much sugar. You know, you can believe it or not believe it. This is not like rocket science. You know, most people are never going to talk about this stuff. You know, but I'm telling you right now, get that YUKA app and put it down on your phone and go through your foods and then throw everything out that isn't over 90%. And guess what? You'll be fasting tonight.
And what a great thing to do is the advanced water fast, which is coming up in January, around, I think it's the middle of January.
Yeah. You know, we're going to keep on here and we're going to keep talking to you. And I'm going to tell you something. For you to believe that I'm outrageous and I've lost it is totally normal. For you to go, he's a quack, what's he trying to do? He's after our money, is totally normal. Understand something. I want you to understand that it's not normal. And if you follow anything that the majority of men or women are doing today, you can kiss your butt goodbye because you're being sold off by the pound. Lorraine?
Yeah, the way that Dr. Wolf has put everything together as far as how to regain your health, it's beautiful. You know, we really have to come back right here and honor this beautiful body that we have, or handsome body that you have, because it's been crying for some attention, and it really, every word that you say, every thought that you say that is negative, your body is listening and it's saying yes. And when we can start turning things around on a emotional and a physical and diet and nutraceutical, and take that massive personal action, your body changes. And I see it every, I do the Perfect Day consultations with people all over the world, and the people who actually grab onto all 4 pillars and start doing it. Yes, it's baby steps at the beginning, because you don't want to try and eat the whole elephant. We can't do that. It's one bite at a time. So baby steps in the right direction, and honoring yourself and being better than you were yesterday. That's all you need to do. And you'll get there.
We've been working on a project now. Okay, well, actually the Perfect Day manual is like 40 years old, but we've been working on a project for the last year and a half, and we'll be finishing it this week. We have a beautiful 500-page manual. I've got one in the other room, but it's fair size, guys. It's 500 pages, and it's beautifully designed, and this has more massive personal take action steps. This guide is, I'm telling you, we've put tens of thousands of hours into it for you. If you get a consultation with anybody that does consultations, it's $150. You get lifetime calling with us. After that consult, you can call your master consultant if they happen to leave or go on, or who knows what happens in the world. You can call me or any other consultant, and that's good for life for $150. But the PDF, you get the 500-page manual, and we're just running it off right now. It's 525 pages. If you pay $225, we will ship this manual to your house, give you a 1-hour consult, and lifetime support on all your questions. Because, see, health is a language. And we've got to let you chew it off, like Lorraine said, at your speed. Some people can go lightning speed. Some people, they'll go and they'll fall back. They'll fall away. They'll keep coming back to us. Because our only intention is for you to become your own practitioner, to become your own hero to your own story. I'm telling you right now, you can go on our website for $225 US. We're delivering that manual to you. If you were to run this manual off, okay, because we're doing thousands of them, that manual would cost you $200 at any place for the high gloss, colored, binding, everything. This is not like, I'm not trying to do an infomercial right now. I'm trying to tell you that we'll give you a money back guarantee that it will blow your mind that you only pay $225, plus you have our support. We do love you. We do care for you. We don't have to know you. And understand something right now. We are seeing our brothers and sisters fall emotionally, physically, all around the world. You can't sit back and not tell me you're not affected. So whatever your gift and passion is, or what you are meant to come down here and do, you better go dust it off. And then you better help your brothers and sisters out any which way that you can. And that's why we're here. And that's why I'm outrageous. I'm outrageous because I'm trying to crack the coconut from the inside out. There isn't a female problem in the pelvis that cannot be corrected or turned around. There is not a disease, which means out of ease, that cannot be reversed by you. Okay? Not by me, by you. We will give you the strategies. Well, we give them the strategies in this manual that you will know more than any practitioner you've ever seen and went to. And understand something. Most natural health practitioners, you know what? They think about cleansing every 3 months or every 8 months, or just doing a coffee enema, not an ultimate coffee enema, which is the only safe coffee enema you can do. They'll do maybe water fasting, but they won't do advanced water fasting that will create 100 times more stem cells and autophagy in the body. The reality is we went all the way. Yes, am I over the top? Yes. But you better be happy that I'm over the top in all ways, because I go over the top with everything. Every one of our products, they are the best of what you can find. And they are. And I would go ahead and challenge me. Do your homework. People will come on and try to banter, but then I'll tell them, well, go and try to prove that. We have the only humic fulvic that has no chemical processing. The only iodine in the world that's non-toxic, no matter how much you took. Okay? All right, we have the most powerful C60 in the world, the purest and the highest concentrate. And we use MCT oil and hemp oil. And other people will use safflower oil and olive oil. The reality is that I have taken it all the way. If you want to be outrageous like me and have a big mouth like me and people go, whoa, who does he think he is? I'll tell you who I think I am. I'm a guy that wants to make a difference. And Lorraine is a woman that is making a difference. And she makes a difference and she cares. And we care about you. We don't have to know you. You don't have to spend any money. Our library is the biggest library, self-care, self-love library in the world. I challenge you to go in there. You'd be in there for, if you wanted to research everything and learn everything, you would be in there for at least 3 to 4 months. And that's if you went in every day. Lorraine, is that true? And you would know more than 99% of the health practitioners out there. And then you're going to go, well, you're pretty cocky, Dr. Wolf. Well, I can be. Because guess what? I don't know a lot of people that put their heart into it as much. When I finish this show, guess what I'm doing? I'm rebuilding the Wolf Non-Surgical Guide. I mean, it never ends with me. Because understand, what else should I be doing? Netflix? What else should I be doing? I already went for my half-a-mile swim this afternoon. I did my stretching this morning. And guess what? If I'm not eating 3 meals a day and I'm not snacking 3 times a day, that's a lot of energy I get to keep and a lot of time that I have on my side. Understand, people that have 3 snacks a day and eat 3 meals a day, they could never keep up. They'll never accomplish what they need to in their life. I mean, God, if you stepped on their foot, their mouth would probably drop. The reality is the human beings weren't meant to eat that much. And the only reason why they used to eat 3 meals a day is because they worked trying to pull stumps out of the ground, and they would work and do physical labor. What do we do now? Okay, we sit on our butts, okay? That's why most people have bad breath, because they're rotting from the bottom up. Lorraine?
Yeah, that's true. So we've got to be able to clean up that and understand. You can go into the library and there is a book called Highway to Health. And there's another one, Holy Crap, Your Large Intestine is the Holy Grail. And then Become Number 1 at the Art of Number 2. Now, if you just went and went through those things, you would have such a great education on how the body works.
Nobody would be able to BS you, would they? Nobody. You'd be going, no, that's not even true. And you'd be talking to maybe another health practitioner. He's been a practitioner for 30 years, and you're going to go, that's not even true. 1 and 1 or 2, buddy, not 11, okay?
Exactly. And it's all free. All you got to do is log in with your email and create a password, and you've got all this information at your fingertips. You can go to the Reverse the Irreversible and check out the symptoms that you're having and see what we've got, how do we explain it? What can you be doing? You can shop in our store, and we have bundles for, getting rid of inflammation, the vaginal infusion bundle, I can't think. There's got to be at least a dozen different bundles.
Or Lorraine, they could just go into the library, okay, and actually, guess what? Go watch. You can sit back. They're master classes. They're all master classes. You don't even have to read. You can read them, or you can do a master class. But guess what? I'm going to give you a really great tip. You ready for this? You cannot eat food today and get enough nutrition.
Yeah.
So now you're going to go, oh, I knew they were going to do this. They're trying to set us up to buy something. You don't buy anything. The reality is this: first, let me see you get rid of your addictions and your poisons. And don't tell me you don't have any. Come on, please. Okay. You know what? I've been around long enough. I can see the people. I can see my own practice. How many practitioners do we have, Lorraine? Thousands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? How many of those practitioners have a bad addiction still, Lorraine? Help me out, Lorraine.
Yeah.
Okay. And they will call themselves healthy. But you know what? Compared to their family, they're healthy. But have they made the changes they need to be high vibrational and to grab their authentic self and to complete their mission down here? No. Yeah. I'm not running them down, because guess what? Everybody's got their time. I just hope that time doesn't run out. Remember something. And guess what? The whole bottom line of all of this is, guess what? one thing, and that's it. If you love yourself, you're going to hell. If you love yourself, you are selfish. And understand something. So I'm selfish and I'm going to hell. And guess what? That is the biggest BS in the world. How much do you want your children to love themselves? How much do you want your family to love themselves? You'd want them to love and care for themselves totally. So why wouldn't you want to do it yourself? Because guess what? As soon as you do it, you will be breaking from the herd, and then you're going to have to put up with maybe 6 to 9 months of being taunted. That's right, because everybody's programmed to attack you. To attack you if you're not, because you got to make everybody comfortable, right? Hey, you got to make everybody comfortable. Here, come on, have another donut, have some chips, have a Coke, have a drink. Oh my God, you haven't seen it yet, girl. Wait till you see this Christmas here. Wait till you see how many people are sick and they've got the COVID. Okay, and now we got to shut down the world again. Oh, can't wait. It's all so exciting.
Yeah. I know that I went back to school and got certified in holistic nutrition, thinking that there would be a way of eating so I didn't have to take supplements.
And we don't carry supplements, though. There's a difference, yeah, Lorraine.
We carry nutraceuticals, which is different than supplements. These are high vibrational. They're plant-based. There's no fillers. There's no additives. And they are absorbed in the body. You know,
right down to the cell level, right into the mitochondria. That's the whole deal here, okay?
Yeah. They work. They work.
Yeah.
I also remember taking a small course with a farmer, and he was talking about the ground and how it's been degraded. And he had something that measured the bricks level of the fruit or vegetable that he had. So he just took a little drop of the juice when he cracked the carrot, and he measured it. And he had carrots that were bought at the store, carrots that were bought from organic at the store, and then carrots that a farmer had nourished the ground. And even the carrots that the farmer had nourished the ground, was growing organic, didn't have the bricks level energy as carrots did 50 years ago. You know, so we're in this world, we're living now, we have to take care of these bodies. And there's no way that we can eat enough fruit and vegetables to supply our body what it needs.
If it's not in the ground, it's not in the food. If it's not in the food, it's not in you. Okay, so what I want you to do, so I want you to become your own farmer, okay? I want you to become your own farmer. I want you to get the humic fulvic back into your soil, because that's what we have to do. We have the best humic fulvic, and we give that to people on a daily basis, just a little bit, and that's how come you won't have heavy metals, you won't have parasites, you won't have fungal problems, you won't have bad bacteria. If you do black gold, a little bit of black gold, a little bit of black diamond, and the daily cleansing tea, I'm telling you, that's a foundation. Then we also have a product called Beyond Ormus Minerals, and it's the highest vibrational electrical minerals on the planet. And it's Ormus. Look up what Ormus is. It works on an emotional etheric level too. And we have the highest vibration. Listen, there's a company called Concentration, and they sell $1 billion in trace minerals a year. And that comes out of the Salt Lake, okay, in Utah. And that's so heavy with chemicals and mercury. I'm telling you the truth. Ours comes from Antarctica, okay, runoff. And guess what? 1 liter, 100 liters of that is concentrated down to 1 liter, and then it's actually made into, okay, an Ormus, which takes another month to do it. And the reality is we say 60 to 70, but there's 92. We're not allowed to say it. They won't let us say it. The FDA will not let us say there's 92 essential minerals in our product. We're allowed to say 60 or 70, okay, because we're not sure, okay? And meanwhile, the minerals you want are from the ocean, not from a lake. Okay, you want them from the ocean, and you want it from fresh runoff, okay? So far away from human beings, and that's what we do, okay? And that's where we have the highest electrical charge, because we are electrical beings. And then we have what's called a perfect day multi. And there is not even a premenstrual multi out there that can even touch ours. This is the 150 different natural ingredients in one multi. We've done our homework, everybody, and you need to do yours. So don't buy our products, but at least get rid of 80 to 90% of the food in your house. Because if it's not wrapped by nature, it was manipulated. Okay? Manipulated. So you got to get that. And you know what? You don't even know it. On a subconscious level, we are addicts. All of us are addicts. Okay? Lorraine, how long did it take for you to no longer be a food addict? How many years? How many years?
I'm going to say 5 years.
5 years. That's when you put your heart into it, right?
I put my heart into it. Yeah. Yeah, you bet.
So next week, we're going to come on here again, Lorraine and I, okay? And we'll be on at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time because she is such a great host. I'm just a co-host, guys. So, even though I probably talk too much. And I'm going to challenge her to bring on a picture of herself 5 years ago and a picture of herself today. You wouldn't know her. You wouldn't know her by the way she acts, the way she looks, the way she smells. Okay? Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I look in the mirror and think, oh my gosh, I made it.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm getting better every day. And I'm challenging myself every single day to do a little bit more.
Yeah, and guess what, everybody? Just so you know this, okay? I gave her tough love all the way. I never gave up on her, but guess what? I did not let her BS herself, did I?
No, did not.
Huh?
Did not. I was definitely put to the test.
No, you put me to the test. Oh my gosh. You know what? It's like this. When somebody loves someone and they hold the line for them, you're the dick. You know what? Really. You know what? When people really, truly, they kind of love you, but they really don't. They don't hold the line. They don't risk their friendship. They don't risk their relationship. I risk my friendship, my relationship with you all the time, waiting for you to go, well, I've had enough of him.
And I haven't, because I know where you're coming from. And I understand that I want to be better. I want to do better. I know I can do it.
See, but Lorraine, I don't want you to be better. Listen to me, everybody. I don't give anything that a person doesn't want. It's none of my business what they want to become. But understand, if you start feeling your way through life and stop thinking it, you will pick up on what that person's greatest, deepest desires are. And then if you are a friend, you will help to hold the line for them. And that is the bottom line. So think of anything you want. And you know it, that I don't go around, I'm not going to go around telling people what to do. People can do whatever they want. They can eat themselves to death, drink themselves to death, do whatever they want. But if they're asking me for my help, how do I treat that, Lorraine?
You tell them like it is.
Yes.
You help it is. And a lot of us don't.
Okay, so this is the other lady that wants a consultation. These are two ladies that want consultations. And yeah, I there's nowhere to hide. Okay.
Yes, I can just say that, if you want to make massive personal, if you want to make massive changes in your life, this is the platform you need to be looking at. Or you need to
they need to come to Mexico.
They need to come to Mexico. What a great place to spend, a month and take in all of the courses that we're doing. Because it will change your life. You will get so much more. I've done so many courses in my life, and this is the one that pushed me to the place that I wanted to see myself at. And I knew I could do it. There was no question. But it was baby steps. It was not everything all at once.
Yeah, and guess what? What happened? Are you ready for this, everyone? She'd come and take the course and get all excited because everybody there was on the same vibe. And then she'd go home and then her families and friends would undermine her, and you wouldn't hear from her for 6 to 9 months, and then she would gain all the weight back, and she would hide out from me.
And then there was no turning back.
Yeah. See, and the reality is what you got to get is she's not dumb. There's nothing dumb about her. It's how often that she allowed people that didn't know that they were disrespecting her, disrespect her. See, now put that one in your... See, I'm not putting anybody down. Remember something, I'm programmed as a man to disrespect my children and my wife, whether you believe it or not. And the reality is when you wake up to that fact, okay? You wake up to that fact, it's a heck of a wake up, okay? But I've always been a nice guy. I have always loved them, but not the way that they should have been loved and honored, respected, protected, okay? And the reality is, you know, it's very difficult for somebody like Lorraine, who has such a beautiful, sweet heart, to realize that some of the people that are so close to her in her life are never going to change, and they're going to treat you the same for the rest of your life. And it's not because they don't like you. It's because they don't know how to treat themselves. And if they're not interested in treating themselves differently, why would that ever happen for you? And the reality is Lorraine, we had that conversation probably 20 times, didn't we? You know, it's like this. It's not about these people not loving you. It's these people don't know how to love themselves.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. When you can really come back to the body and start loving it and nourishing it and supplying it what it needs on a physical, emotional, mental, all areas. Why wouldn't you want to come at this problem from every single angle that you can and start making that problem dwindle away by taking little hunks at a time?
And when you fall, you will start to fall forward. And when you fall, you won't stay down. And when you fall, you will never judge yourself again. You'll say, what can I learn? I'm not going to burn. You're doing great. You're going to become your best coach, your best cheerleader, right? Because there was even, let me see here, a year and a half ago was the last time you did the great crash, right?
Yeah.
Tell people about it, because you should be so proud of yourself. Because a year and a half later, and look at you, you're a shining star.
A shining star.
You are.
I appreciate that. And yeah, you know, I struggled within. That was what was going on.
Yeah, but you know why you struggled? Why'd you struggle? Because you have such a big heart. She didn't want to hurt anyone that was hurting her.
Exactly. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I wanted to tiptoe around everything, and that wasn't serving me at all. Matter of fact, that was bringing me down. That was adding extra pounds. And to me, extra pounds is me trying to protect me and diminish the expression of me, the amount of energy that I take up in this world. Either I'm going to do it emotionally or I'm going to do it physically.
So
when emotions are down, my physical is over.
So here it is, everyone. And the big thing is programs. Because when you hurt for people and you hurt too long, you hurt yourselves. So it's not like Lorraine has become callous or I have become callous. We feel what people are feeling. But the reality is we no longer suffer for them. The reality is you be there and you do your due diligence. And when you're requested and they say, I am ready, you need to be clear of mind. You need to have energy. And you need to go in with a beautiful smile and an open heart, not someone that has been suffering. If this person could take years before they decide they want something different, And if you suffer for people long enough and strong enough, you become the disease and you feed their suffering. What do you think, Lorraine?
It's true. It's true. You know, when your life force starts getting sucked out, because that's really what was happening, and I was allowing it. It wasn't that these people were intentionally doing that. It was me allowing it to happen. And then I decided that I couldn't do that anymore. And I needed to start taking that massive personal action and really loving this body and protecting me and honoring me and really doing the mirror work. That was an amazing thing for me. Because I remember the first class, I couldn't even, and it was a small class, I couldn't, and we all had to do the mirror work, I couldn't even get a word out. I couldn't even look at myself in the eyes. That's how I was back then. Because I knew I had a lot of baggage that I needed to let go of. And letting myself off the hook, you know, doing that, the Braveheart 12 Loving Steps. And that's in our library, and it's free for you guys. You just got to get into it and start doing it. And it is a master class.
It was $1,000 master class, and we've gotten to the point that we know we have to give it away for free because it has to be done.
Yeah, and when you can get into that library and start doing these things, you're gonna have such a better understanding. I mean, I had the opportunity to work elbow to elbow with Daryl, so I did not back down. I took it and I did not back down, and I changed a little bit, and then I floundered for a while, and then I changed again. And Daryl would say, "You got a choice here. You got a choice. You can go back down. You can keep killing yourself," because that's what I was doing. Emotionally, I was allowing my body to go back down there, and I never want to do that. I never want to do that because I see the world with different eyes now. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is I look at things differently. And it's because I understand things much better.
Beautiful.
As far as, yeah.
And we know you do. And just know, everybody, that Lorraine lives in Calgary, and she does Wolf Non-Surgical there, and she does consultations there. And come on. So let people know, if anybody lives around the Calgary area, to make sure that they go and see her, because she's a brilliant, brilliant Wolf Non-Surgical therapist. If you don't want to go to surgery, if you've got pelvic issues, breast issues, spinal issues, if you've got joint problems, muscle problems, listen, I'm going to back you that with a money-back guarantee. The work she does, it's going to blow your mind, because it's always an issue in the tissue. It's always about scar tissue or calcification or crystallization. And look at, check out Braveheart Nation. We're doing all 4 courses here in Ixtapa, Mexico, starting January 8th. I'm not going to rattle on about them, but you know what? When are you going to gift yourselves? How would you like to take some courses at a 4-diamond resort? Okay? All right? You don't have to stay there. We'll find you great places from anywhere from $45 right up to as high as you want. But that's per night. You know what? Come play with us, stay with us, learn with us. Okay? Grow with us.
You won't regret it.
No.
You won't. It is this work is amazing. And if you're just going to take one of the courses, like the Whole Life Coach, then maybe I'm going to be there too. And maybe you'll want to get some non-surgical done before you go back home. The first course that I took, I did the Whole Life Coach, I did the non-surgical, and every day we were working on different parts of the body. And I literally came home a different person. Like this work just opens up some pathways. It opens up the blood flow. It opens up the lymphatic flow. You don't have those aches and pains. You didn't have to, get that joint replaced because they told you were bone on bone. You're not bone on bone. the cartilage is just like beef jerky, and it looks like it's bone in an x-ray because it's so tough. So when you can open up the blocks and get some blood flow and lymphatic flow happening, your body just creates the miracle. It starts to heal.
You are the miracle, everybody, and you better get that. And if you can stop putting yourself down, if you can start being your own cheerleader, if you can, I'll tell you what, try this tonight, okay? Try 15 minutes before you go to bed, having brand new thoughts of gratefulness, and then have thoughts of the way you want to see your life. If you can do that for 10 to 15 minutes before you go to bed and 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, there are actual studies that show that you can improve your immune system by 50%. Listen to me. Image is everything. Imagination was our greatest gift from our source, our creator. And your imagination was hijacked as soon as you entered your mother's womb, okay? And it was. And if you don't want to reclaim your imagination, then the images that you have are not pleasant. They will create unpleasant thoughts that create unpleasant emotions that trigger unpleasant chemicals. And those chemicals will tear you down. And because you're part of the majority until you believe that you're strong enough to become the minority, you'll be sold off by the pound. And that's where the majority's going. And I am not putting them down. My job here on this planet is to create shock and awe and to have people actually say he's a dick. You listen to me and I'm telling you the truth. Because 1 out of every 1,000 people are going to go, no, he's not. You know what? He just touched me. He just made me understand it's up to me. I need to become the hero of my story. I am the director, the writer, the producer, and the leading star. And this is why tonight you sit down right after here and you write a Braveheart contract to yourself. And then you look at that contract every night before bed and every morning that you get up. And you say, that's a contract that I need to live with. And nobody else is going to do this for me. You might break the contract, but guess what? You'll be back. I swear, you'll be back. You'll be back to the contract. Just like Lorraine, just like me. When we started, we would sway and go away, poison ourselves, and then come back. Then we would go and poison ourselves less, and then come back. Then we'd poison ourselves less, and then come back. And now we don't poison ourselves. You know, it's not saying that we'll never have a drink at Christmas. We might. It's not saying that a person might not have a toke. Maybe they will. But the reality is this. We're not owned by it. Remember something. If you have to have 1 glass of wine every day, you're an alcoholic. If you have, and every time that you feel that you've got to eat flour products, eat dairy products, eat sugar products, guess what? That's the parasites inside of you, whether it's the bad bacteria, the fungus, or the worms going, Mommy, feed me. That's it. You'll notice every day, almost at the same time, you have taught your parasites like Pavlov's dog, okay? They know exactly what time it is. And you're going, you know what, honey? I'm feeling kind of snacky. Okay? All right? We're with you. Okay? All right? Just admit it. I'm an addict. That's half of the game. I'm an addict. Okay? I'm not going to bring it home anymore. I have to eat it in the car or I have to eat it outside. But I'm not going to bring it home because when you shut the doors and you're behind closed doors, guess what? Then you what? Size me up, baby. Okay. Yeah. Lorraine, what would you like to say before we go?
Just know that your body is incredible. It knows how to heal. The biggest problem is this thing here has forgotten the body can heal. So come back and train with us and play with us and learn. Be a lifelong learner because things change as we evolve a little bit more. I am definitely never going to stop reading, never going to stop researching because there's always something new out there. And I know I'm going to be 90 cutting my grass if that's what I want to do. Because I'm taking care of me, which is shining for everybody.
Beautiful. So anyways, the 12-day program, well, it's the 12 loving steps. You'll find it in the actual Doc of Detox library. If you go to docofdetox.com, click on library, sign in. My gosh, there's gold in there. Go do the 12 loving steps. Guess what? And go through the 12 loving steps. But the Braveheart online emotional intelligence course will take you 33 days if you work on it every day for 2 to 3 hours. That's it. So it could take you longer. And in there, you have quizzes that you can fill out. And if you did that course 3 times, I would tell you that you just cracked your coconut and now you're on your way. Okay? All right? The Braveheart way, loving yourself and not feeling guilty about it. Oh my God, wouldn't it be great to not feel guilty about loving yourself? So check that out. Check out braveheartnation.com. And Lorraine and I will be back next Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay, everyone? All right? Okay. Have a beautiful night, everybody. And thank you, Lorraine. Okay? Really appreciate you.
I enjoy this. It is my passion. You know it. And I love you guys. I love all this work, and it's not work. It is my passion.
Find your passion, find your purpose, get real good at it, and then gift the world. And guess what? You'll never have trouble sleeping. You'll never have trouble getting up. And guess what? You'll be loving every moment, and you will own it. God bless. Thanks for joining us. Lorraine, finish it off.
Yes. And 3, 2, 1. Bravehearts, we've got this.
Good night, everyone.